Good morning. What a beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning it is. I had a tough time deciding where we were going to walk today. I've been going to the park some mornings, different parks, and I'm just going to stay close to home today and go on this wonderful dirt road across from my house. It's hard to do justice to how pretty this is. I'm grateful for this public area where this is a city thoroughfare, so no one's going to build here. But somebody owns all these wonderful pastures here. And just to have this across the street from my home is such a blessing. But that's the road we're on. I never see horses or anything in this pasture, but I'm just grateful that it's here. And here we are on our walk. I was watching Charity's part 2 video this morning. Sorry, I was giggling because Teddy peed and that was not going to be part of the video. Sorry. I was watching Charity's beautiful part 2 of her favorite vendors series this morning and looking through some old wax. I did a wax empties video this morning and looking through some old wax. I'm just trying to get back to melting baskets because I'm so overwhelmed by how much wax I have and how disorganized it is. So we're on our peaceful walk. I can worry about that later. And here's another property with this beautiful, huge home. It has a guest house. There's a path where you can walk up. They have kumquat and loquat trees in their yard. And there's a gigantic guest house behind this massive house. And they have a lot of unused pipe corrals, and they have quite a wonderful garden. The mustard seed's pretty high, so I'm not walking up that path right now. I have a tough enough time getting through where we're going up here. Fortunately, this is clear, but up ahead, the path is not clear. So we walk tenderly, so we don't step on anything weird. But there's a bunch of pipe corrals here, and over here they have a little garden with some fruit trees. And the squirrels and ground squirrels and other critters are very active in our area. So this peach tree, for example, it was covered with fruit. She picked a lot of it, but it has netting on it that you can't really see very well, but it was covered with peaches. And there's some citrus trees there, and I just love walking over here, discovering something new every day. Come on, Teddy. And then I always have to pick the burrs out of if he has any burrs from his paws from our walk every day, so nothing gets wedged in his paws and hurts him. He just loves our walks. So what else? I'm going to there's a camper's breakfast the last Sunday of every month at our Elks Lodge, and they do a beautiful breakfast with pancakes and bacon and sausage and gravy and biscuits and eggs made to order and toast. So I'm going to go over there. And they do a wonderful AA breakfast before that one. The different meetings and different rehabs from our community come to this AA breakfast. I think it's at 9. And the elk campers feed them, and they have a speaker. It's a speaker meeting. And then they have the lodge members breakfast at 10. And it's just a nice thing to do on a Sunday. And I'm maybe going to get my nails done today, but I might move it to next week. I got my nails put back on, but I'm not really keen on sitting there for a fill on a Sunday. So maybe we'll move it into next week. This is the path that they need to clear. Since this is public property, the city really should come over here and clear this, because you can barely see the path. It's kind of fun walking through here, but Teddy loves it. But it's so overgrown, and it is a fire hazard as the summer months wear on. So a lot of people that own properties back there keep it much more clear. No one's come through here and used their weed whacker or anything, but somebody needs to. I would do it if I had one. But just because it's a really big fire hazard when this mustard seed dries out. So we'll see. Hopefully somebody will clear this soon. I'm sure these homes don't want to be in danger. And somebody's building up there, putting in some new, like a guest house or 2 new garages. They've been building that for a while. Coming, Teddy. And I'm just walking carefully so I don't fall or trip, because I can't really see where I'm going. But there, now we're through. We made it through to the other side. And I love this little shady spot right here, which is really pretty with this pepper tree. And he loves to pull me down this hill, so we have to kind of walk carefully so I don't fall. We don't need any hazards on our walk. But yeah, it's super pretty and fun. And then we got this path, which I love. Me and my kids used to walk here. For the last 25 years we've walked here. And I love this little shady, little kind of alcove path down here. It used to be even more really cool and shady with the trees growing over even more. But it's happening again. The trees are filling in. And I just love all the different kinds of trees here. We've got bougainvillea growing, and you've got, I'm going to identify that tree and see what this beautiful plant is. In fact, Teddy, hold on a minute. I'm going to take a cutting of this. It has huge, oh my gosh, huge thorns on it. So glad I didn't miss that. And I just took a little cutting to identify it and see what it is. It almost, yep, it's definitely a tree, because there's more of it up there, an entire tree. But how interesting that it has crazy thorns on it. So yeah. And then there's a little fairy village here. People stop by and put different little things from the fairy village. This little ice cream thing is new, but people just add to it throughout the years and put the things upright if they fall over. And just walking through our tree tunnel. But as you can see, this tree is trying to grow everywhere, whatever this tree is. Sproutlings of this one tree. And he likes to find places to roll around in. We have to be careful. The other day on a walk at the park, we found some poison oak. I'm sure glad I spotted it. It doesn't affect dogs like it does humans, but still, you know, we don't need any poison oak doggy or human problems. Especially after I just got over hives a couple weeks ago. Gosh knows what caused that. I don't know. I'll probably end up going to an allergist. But twice a year or so, I get some form of hives. Who knows? But there's a little wash over here that separates this public city thoroughfare from the private homes back there. Some people have horses and chickens. But this is kind of not full, but it's pretty flowing when it's after a good rain, which is rare for Southern California. We still need rain. I sure don't want to fall into a drought again. They were starting to fine people for watering. You could only water like once a week. Just about everybody had to let their lawns die when we were going through our drought late last year. And it was very disturbing and unpleasant to only be able to water once a week. But I watered a lot of my other plants by hand, so those survived and the garden survived. Unfortunately, the backyard grass died, but we're kind of redoing the backyard. I'm putting in some more flower beds and making a smaller grass area, and maybe putting in some, like, what do you call that when you, like, shredded bark, not bark, but like tree shredding. When people, you can go buy that stuff when people put their trees through a chipper. That's like a nice ground cover. So I want to really try to transform the backyard and have some raised beds. And I have a lot of vegetables in big pots now because we have so many rabbits. But I'd really like a raised bed area. And that's about it. I'm just kind of rambling. We're coming upon a really beautiful oak tree that's probably about a couple hundred years old. I live in a town called Thousand Oaks, so there's tons of California and live oaks here. Sadly, they don't have the moss growing on them. If you If you hike way up into the mountains, like the Santa Monica Mountains or San Bernardino Mountains, you do find some of these oak trees with moss growing on them, but not like in Louisiana. It's not a humid climate here, so the moss does not normally grow on these trees, but this is an oldie but a goodie. This beautiful oak tree. I love them so much. Oak trees are protected here. You cannot tamper with them or cut them without permission from the city. You get a really gigantic fine if you cut down an oak tree. And if it's got something wrong with it, or if branches need to be cut, like that one was, you have to get permission. But this is such a pretty one. And I have a baby oak tree growing on my property that, and when I'm long gone, it'll be huge and wonderful. Come on, Teddy. So that's about it, everyone. Thank you for listening to me ramble. It's not too boring, but I love doing these, and I love sharing little tidbits of our morning with you. It cheers me up, and Teddy is entertained at the same time. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Happy Sunday.